Hi guys, welcome back to our channel, Woman to Woman. This is Leticia and I have my co-star.
Hi guys, this is Imani.
And we're here talking to you guys about embracing the art of letting go. Right, Imani?
Yes.
Yes, so obviously letting go is in different perspectives of your life, not only relationships, but also death, friendships, work, anything negative is really something to let go of.
Yeah, so we're kind of just going to be talking about, how letting go has a very, kind of spiritual, I would say, not to like base it on religion. I kind of have like different beliefs on like spirituality and versus, religious beliefs. So I feel like letting go in a sense of kind of just allowing, your present situation to be what it is, and kind of letting go and removing yourself from the control aspect of things and just, being.
Yes, no, for sure. So before this, actually, we usually try to do a little run up of letting go and just really viewing our perspectives of our today's topic, which is letting go. And really, before this, I honestly thought that I didn't know how to let go, nor that I would let go, just because I'm the type of person that I can forgive you, but I don't know. I just don't know how to let go of the emotion that I felt. So because of that, I changed who I am to no longer for people to no longer to see me as that person who was able to get hurt. But I didn't realize that was me letting go until Imani was like, well, no, like you are letting go because in a way you are changing, you're evolving, whether you're building walls or whether you're doing yoga or whatever, you're still evolving to a different person, and that's how you are letting go.
Right. So Leticia had asked me, am I the type of person who is easy to let go, or who can let go of things easily? So I told her, I'm definitely a very forgiving kind of person. I hold on to a lot of feelings of guilt sometimes. So me trying to get rid of those feelings of guilt, and for me to kind of relinquish that control feeling that I like to have also, because I feel like sometimes I want to be a people pleaser. So I'm always, wanting what's best for other people and wanting what's best for different situations, but for others rather than, what's best for me. And so being able to kind of find that balance of, what it is that I want and what it is that, is working for me in a certain situation has kind of helped me, navigate where I see myself, in different in situations. So I feel like I usually am not the type of person who can hold a grudge, because I don't like other people to hold grudges against me. So I'm a very, easygoing, kind of forgiving person. And I mean, Leticia was telling me the opposite. So I feel like I was telling her, like she said, that it's, even though you may feel like you're not as forgiving to some people, you're still, if you're changing and if you're evolving, you're still letting go of a certain part of you, and becoming a new kind of person. Not like you're changing physically, but mentally you're growing and you're shedding that old self that you used to be, and really just becoming more of who you are as a person rather than who you were before, or who those experiences made you out to be. So I feel like it's really important, like what you say about, it's hard for you to let go of some things. but you change. So kind of just touch on that a little bit, because I think that that's really interesting, and that's how a lot of people kind of perceive letting go is with situations.
Yeah, so for me, I've always thought about letting go in the sense like I'm forgiving that person, or I'm forgiving, whatever happened to me or whatever I did, um, completely, and just moving on from them. Obviously, just forgiving, but I just tend to like I can forgive you, but it's just like I just never had really like that basis in the sense of, okay, well, we can still be the same as how we were, because I felt that was me like not being able to fully forgive the person. But at the same time, I felt like I just needed to change, because if this person who I opened up completely, whether it was a best friend or a friend or whoever it might be, was able to do that to me, it just made me think like, okay, well, why did they do that to me? Was it maybe because I was just too nice, too open, too sentimental? And if so, then I obviously don't want to relive that experience again and get hurt the way I did. So what I tend to do is basically just move on from the situation. If I consider them a really close person in my life, I obviously need my time to cope and to forgive and eventually forgive them. But then that also means me changing, evolving to a new person, just because, like I was saying, I don't want the next person who comes into my life to think that they're able to do that to me. But at the same time, I do believe that there has to be a balance, because you're not able to have a new person in your life come in and then you treat them as the new you when they haven't done anything wrong to you. So but you're just judging them off of your feelings that you had in the past, if that makes sense. So I feel like also like there has to be a lot of balance there of learning how to fully like forgive the person, and really move on, and just knowing where exactly, okay, I have to move on, but let me go ahead and be the same person with this person, because they're not showing any wrong to me, or just really just moving on and letting go, in the sense where you're becoming the new you, obviously, because experience change you, relationship change you, emotions change you, everything change you. Every day you're changing and you're evolving. But me was more like, okay, I have to know exactly when I can give this person the same emotion that I was giving to this person who betrayed me, in the sense. So yeah.
I think that emotion that you feel with a person from the past, it obviously is going to transfer to the next person. It's because like you have like trauma kind of with your past experiences. And I mean, you can have just relationships with people and they end great, and you could still carry on that good relationship to somebody who hasn't really earned that. So I feel like it can be looked at in a positive or negative way, but I just feel like that is also like a pattern. So it's obviously like we have patterns, we have habits, we have things that we kind of just do habitually, so we don't really recognize them consciously, because we're just so used to doing things a certain way. And so I mean, if we can kind of recognize those things that have set us back in past relationships, and see how we're kind of reflecting those feelings onto new people that we meet, we can definitely work towards making sure that we're having like a lot of the energy and a lot of the focus that we are putting on other people back to ourselves. Because I feel like at the end of the day, it's more of just a reflection on self, and how has things that you've experienced, previous traumas, previous relationships, previous experiences, all of that, all of the events that you've experienced or been through in your life, like how has all of that added up, and how has that like shaped the way you are, the way you think in the present day? So I feel like, you know, it's a more of a self-reflection thing rather than like the next person, because it's definitely, we have that pattern where we attract people who like I read something in a book where it's like, you know, you're more likely to date people who reflect your parents. So it's like we're looking for people who kind of have those same, you know, personality traits and same features as the people who raised us, or as the people who like we're the most comfortable with, or the people who have caused us even the most trauma. It's like we look for certain things that we lack, or certain things that we you know, just feel like we need in other people. And I feel like it's more of just us letting go of those patterns of like us looking for, you know, that void that we don't really, you know, we sometimes we don't even know what this void is or like where it comes from. So I think it's like always like going back to self and like, where is it that I can kind of just fill that void myself, rather than, you know, blaming somebody else or like looking for that validation from somebody else. It's like, how can we like work on ourselves? So I feel like it's always going to be a continuous cycle of us growing and us evolving, and just making sure that we're like keeping track of ourselves and like holding ourselves accountable of just our own emotions and our own experiences, because it's not somebody else's fault that, you know, so and so hurt us, and so now so and so has like caused us this trauma, and we can't even have a, you know, a beneficial working relationship with somebody else because of that person. And these relationships can be like with very different people, you know, they can be friendships, they can be, you know, family. It's just, it can be all different types of relationships. And I just feel like that working on self and kind of just looking to yourself always, which is so hard, honestly, it's so hard, because I feel like it's so easy to like want to blame other people. And I've tried really hard to like get away from that, because it's like, how am I growing if I'm just going to be blaming somebody else for how I feel? Because like how I feel isn't necessarily how they feel. Like they have their own emotions, and I don't want to invalidate how they feel. So it's just like, how can I let go of, you know, that feeling of, wow, you know, this person did this to me? Like, how can I let go of that feeling of just feeling like it's a personal attack rather than just how somebody else feels?
No, for sure. And one thing that I liked what she said was that we have to hold each other accountable for what we are doing. So, like I was saying, in the sense where, you know, you just have to know what level, or, you know, exactly where you stand with that person, because that is where you are able to be like, okay, I know who I am, and I am able to be my true self around them. So let me go ahead and, you know, fully let go of what the past has done to me and just be my true self. Because also, I also believe that if you're not able to let go of certain things and really move on from them, you're just gonna keep getting that that bad emotion, or that anger, or that sadness, or whatever that person or that situation, actually whatever the situation gave you, you're gonna just keep going and going, and just basically just storing it all in, and until one day you just explode, because you weren't able to fully let go and fully grasp the experience of, okay, yes, they did do me wrong, but let me learn from this, let me let go and learn. And, you know, day by day, just take it and just basically just go like that. Because by personal experience, if you try to hold everything in and you try to be a great person and be like, I'm strong and I got this, you're not. At the very end of that tunnel, you are going to explode, and that is not good. It's not good for you, for your emotional being, On obviously for people who are around you, who truly do love you and who are truly there for you, but because you weren't able to let go, it has just pushed you to your max, and you're thinking that you're strong and that you're a good person, but reality is just that you just don't know how to let go, and that's fine. I feel like when we're growing up, we're not taught lessons like that. We're not taught as to like, oh, like what's gonna happen when I get my first real love heartbroken, when a friend who I thought was like my sister, did this to me. So a lot of things, obviously, nothing prepares you for that into life, but you can always see experiences from your loved ones, your friends, or just a simple like, what, let me talk to this person, and if this is the way I need to let go, then so be it. Everybody has different ways of letting go, but just make sure that whatever way for you is to let go, that for you it's a good thing. It's not something bad as in, okay, I'm letting go, but yet I'm drowning in alcohol, or I'm looking for help but in drugs or in going out. No, it has to be you letting go in something that really is going to help you, and it's going to be a proactive solution for you for letting go. Because a lot of people let go, but a lot of people go the wrong route of letting go, and they see themselves 20 years drowning in alcohol and becoming an alcoholic. So that's what I also mean, in the sense where keep yourself accountable. If whatever situation was caused by you, then keep yourself accountable and just try to move on from it and letting go, and not only forgiving the other person but also forgiving yourself. Because whether you believe that you were the perfect person, nobody is. So we're humans, we mess up, and that's fine, but you just have to own up to it. And a part of letting go, in my eyes, is also you forgiving yourself. And even if you didn't do any wrong, like also just forgiving yourself in the sense that, what, like, let me forgive myself because obviously I did this, and in the long run it calls for this action to happen. So definitely just knowing yourself and knowing how to, like, the right way to let go is going to be how you're going to go ahead and dictate your future, and how mainly you're going to dictate your relationship with anybody, not just your partner, not just your friendship, but also just to a total stranger. So yeah.
Wow. No, seriously, like, wow, because you just touched on so many, like, good, just really good points, with alcoholism and people just not forgiving themselves, and people running to other people for help, and not really knowing what to do. And I think that those are all really good points, because it's so true. And letting go, it's such an extensive topic that really, it's something that you can't figure out overnight. It's not something that you're just going to be like, okay, well, I'm going to let go and tomorrow I'll be okay. Like, in a perfect world, that would be how it works, obviously, but it's like everything takes time. And having the patience with yourself, and being able to kind of just look back at a younger version of yourself and be like, wow, like, you are just so much stronger than you think you are. And even though you try to hold up a front for so many years of like, oh, I'm strong, I'm okay, like, I'm this, I'm that, you still are here today, and you really did overcome all those obstacles, and you are strong. Like, you don't have to put up a front, because it's like you are strong, and it's just a matter of us believing that we're strong and that we have the power to just let go of things that are just not serving us. They're not benefiting us in any way. And if something's not benefiting you, if something's stressing you out, then it's not worth it. Let it go. It really is. It's so simple to just even say it. It's just the process of it is so difficult because of all the emotions that are involved with the act of letting go. So I just feel like if you find somebody to talk to, which is always the most important, finding somebody who you really feel like you can relate to, who you feel like understands, an experience that you've been through, is always the best way to go. It's just talking to somebody and making sure that you're forgiving yourself for, because everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Like Hannah Montana said, like everybody makes mistakes, guys. So it's not a matter of you being like, oh, you're so dumb. Like, stop beating yourself up, because, even though we live in this world where everybody seems like they're perfect and everybody's posting all of their, perfect highlights and perfect lives and look at this and look at me, and like, no, all of that is just a facade. It's all fake. You don't need to be comparing yourself to other people's experience, because everybody has their own personal, very, very personal and specific to one person experience. Like, everybody's experiences are different. Everybody goes through it's basically the same thing that we go through, but the experience, the emotions are different. So I don't like when people say, because I've dealt with that as well, where I'm just like, oh, like, I'm so depressed, I don't know anyone, I don't have anyone to talk to, I don't have anyone to turn to. Like, I've struggled with that, because I didn't used to like to talk to people. I didn't like to share my emotions, but that just comes from, me having such trauma at such a young age, because I lost my dad at a very young age. So it's like, I didn't feel like a lot of people understood me. And I mean, I was really blessed to find friends that, kind of had similar experiences, where they had like a single parent and they came from like single family households. And it was just like, I was able to find that peace in those friends that I made, which I'm always going to be so grateful for that. But I just feel like, making sure that you find somebody to talk to is just so, so important, because you're not alone. And it's important for people to understand that they're not alone. Even if they think that they're so, so alone and that they don't have anyone to talk to. Like, I know social media is a terrible place for some things, but like, to feel connected is the best thing, because that's what it's there for. It's for everyone to be connected. And that's why I feel like I spend so much time on social media, because everything's about balance. Everything's about balance, and just finding that balance of like, okay, I can come here and I can find peace and comfort in talking to this certain amount of people, or like talking to, this person from here, and like posting this, like I'm okay. But feeling like you're alone, or like you don't have anyone to turn to, or like, that maybe if I just end it all, it's going to be so much better. Like, no. We got to let go of that victim mentality. We got to let all of that negativity, just let it go. Like, just let it go.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so basically what we hope that you gain from, today's podcast is embracing the art of letting go, but also finding the balance. Within the balance comes forgiving yourself, whether you messed up, whether you didn't, but just forgiving yourself, because you're always going to torment yourself of, how did I let this get this far? And how did I let myself get this involved or this emotional? So you don't necessarily have to be the victim to let go, but just let go. It's always the right path, but just make sure that you're going right, but not left of letting go. So not finding yourself in a bigger hole of drowning yourself in alcohol or partying, or, whatever bad choice that you think is gonna worsen your life. But yeah, so
bring you some type of peace.
Exactly.
Because those bad choices, they're eventually gonna be mistakes at some point. You're gonna regret them, even if they, seem like they're the best option. Like, I just feel like sometimes you don't even realize, like, it's a bad choice for a reason, like it has a bad outcome with it. There's going to be consequences to every action, and they can be good or bad consequences. And I feel like when people get away with things one time, it's just like, okay, well, now I'm gonna be okay the next time, you know? So it's just like, no, it's bad for a reason. And I mean, do what you want with that information, but I'm not trying to like shame anyone who drinks or like, but like everything in excess,
In moderation.
everything in moderation, and everything in excess is, you know, usually it's not good if you do things in excess. So everything in moderation, yes.
Yes, for sure. So we hope you enjoy. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned, guys. Thank you so much for listening.